everyone? Welcome to the Pepe Sunday live stream. What is going on? Hope everyone is doing well. Hope you like the little intro. We haven't used that intro in a long time, so we figured we'd we'd bring it back. But what's going on, guys? Yeah, we're having a nice hair day, I guess, right? No, bad hair day, good hair day, but we're having a good Pepe day. We are going to get into some of the bullish Pepe metrics. Primarily, this is a Pepe themed live stream, but we're going to keep it pretty simple and also get through the Bitcoin prices. We're going to see how the weekend has looked, and also, hold on just a second. Yo, let's see. I know, I just got kidnapped. Now my kid is wanting Oreos, and I'm like, no, you can't have Oreos. it's like 9 o'clock. So what's going on? Okay, all right, let's get into this price action here. That's funny. Yeah, anytime it's 9 o'clock and your kid's coming with a bag of Oreos, what do you tell them? What do you tell them? Do you tell them, sure, it's happy Sunday, or do you say absolutely not? So we're going to be doing just a short live stream. We're only going to be live streaming till 10, just for a little bit. We just wanted to pop on a Sunday and say hello and hope everyone is doing okay. Shout out to everyone who came in and smashed up the like button. See some people in here already. Lori Cannon is making some homemade banana walnut nutmeg muffins. That sounds great. Mr. Crypto said, I'll take those Oreos. But all right, so we're going to just look at some Pepe related stuff. We saw this coin that is popping up on the timeline. Zeus, which is apparently Pepe's dog. So there's been a lot of different characters that have come out of this Matt Fuhr collection, and we want to know if any of them are actually worth even speculating into, because you got to remember, anything that is not just the Pepe token itself is obviously is a derivative of Pepe, and it's always the question, do I speculate into something that is a derivative of the main token, or do I just invest into the main token, which is Pepe, at least by terms of market cap, by terms of like what the actual like holder count is, and what is the strongest one. Well, it's been this particular Pepe, which is on Ethereum. If you're not familiar with the controversy of the Pepe coin, which Pepe coin was technically the first Pepe, but it just it did not pick up enough traction like this particular Pepe did, which is the one that was released in 2023, around April 2023. This one had a pretty interesting launch, though, because if you look at the at Morales Money, we'll go to moralesmoney.com. It was basically like a silent launch. Like, this was Pepe, being one of the biggest meme coins, actually had a silent launch. There might have been a few wallets that probably got like an early airdrop allocation or something like that, but other than that, it's pretty much just it was an open chart. So I'm sure that the whales that were kind of on the forefront of these of at least I would say like Dogecoin and SHIB, like people that were the Dogecoin or SHIB whales probably saw Pepe and was like, oh, okay, let's see what's going on here. And it was just a very interesting time too. That's why we like to always go back to Pepe and talk about it, and not get you guys to buy it or anything like that, because I can't. Obviously, you guys have to make your own financial decisions where you're going to put your money, or at least for the memes, having a bag of memes that include some of the strongest ones, whether it be Pepe or SHIB or Dogecoin, or if you think that's Dog with Had or Bonk, it could be Popcat, it could be whatever the strong meme is, whether it be on Solana or Ethereum. You definitely want to have a little bit of exposure into these memes, because you don't want to be the person that's kind of holding a lot of these VC vaporware tokens, and they have more counterparty risk than a lot of these meme coins, which is fascinating. I always find that fascinating that in this landscape, that really the coins that end up being trusted the most to be able to hold ends up being the meme coins, because it's what actually outperforms most of the market when it comes to the biggest runs. So let's pull it up. So we're gonna look at Pepe on Morales Money. Hype score right now 70%, not too bad. The liquidity though is what I like. It's got very high liquidity that is locked. $46.9 million in liquidity. We have basically the holders' acquisition based on the wallet's first interaction was 67% were transferred. We had 28% swapped into wallets, and then airdropped was 3.7%. So you can see got a allocation of an airdrop here. But what's interesting is the top 500 of the wallets actually hold a major, bigger portion of the supply, the 86% of the supply. Only the top 10 hold 39%. But if you think about the actual top wallets, the top wallets are exchanges. And there is a holder count of 400,000. I think it's like 400,000 people. There's the total holder chart, 442,000, and it's just been climbing. It's had a steady growth in holders, and then you can see that the biggest wallets are Binance Hot Wallet. You got the Binance Exchange Wallet. You have Burn Address is actually one of the bigger wallets. BitHump. A lot of these, Gemini, Crypto.com. You can see MEXC. I think Revolut is in here. Like all the major exchanges, like Robinhood. Robinhood is also a top wallet. So if you go to the bubble maps, that's where we're looking at the bubble maps. We have in these middle cluster right here is big exchanges. You can see Robinhood. You can see all of the wallet list here. Yeah, one of the bigger allocations is actually went to Robinhood. And if you think about it, think about how Dogecoin was picking up so much traction in terms of trading volume and excitement on Robinhood. So I think Pepe could be having a very kind of similar run to Dogecoin. And there's always going to be a outlier coin, whether it be a major altcoin or a meme coin. A lot of the times it's two. It's like a major alt that gets a lot of traction along with the meme, and it could be that it's the meme that's on the native chain that is going to do really well. I mean, like I said before, guys, the most hated rally in existence is just around the corner. When ETH starts breaking all-time highs and we have fundamental ETH liquidity projects like Pepe, like ticker Bitcoin, like SPX 6900, any of the coins that you start to see in that top list when you click on ETH and click on liquidity, that's, I think, what is going to end up outperforming everything. It's going to be the most hated rally because all the while other things are going to do good, but we're just going to have a steady uptick into Ethereum. It's just my personal opinion because I think it's lagging a little bit, but I think the institutions are coming for ETH. They're coming for ETH. All the while the timeline and like normies, you're not thinking about buying ETH. Companies are scooping up ETH like crazy because they understand that yield is going to be huge. Institutions are going to want that sweet yield, especially on an ETH ETF. So an ETH ETF is going to be huge. That actually can give out a type of yield from the staking. So staking with the ETF for ETH is going to give the institutions their juicy 5%, whatever they're going to need to really start to pump that cash into Ethereum. Now, what's that going to do? I think that's going to make a lot of our coins pump. And actually, right now, I wanted to see what is the best performer out of our list of coins right now in our little list. It's we don't track a crap ton of coins, but we like to track the things that we've kept up with. And let's see here, Naka. So Nakamoto Games is actually up 12% today. So let's go. So shout out to anyone who is in the Naka ecosystem. This coin on the daily, as in terms of a gaming ecosystem coin that I don't think gets enough attention, it's doing really well. It's actually doing really well. It's holding up strong compared to a lot of other gaming ecosystem tokens. Remember, this thing has a dashboard. We've played it live on stream before. And we'd actually really like to collaborate with them more because I just kind of like how they're a little different than others. They're almost like an arcade. You use the Naka token as almost like as an actual like game token to play the game, and then it does a figure of how you do well on the actual game and the score, and then you get paid in Naka for actually completing high scores, completing missions. Very gamified, of course. And the chart actually looks pretty good. So if you're thinking like, what's a decent low cap gaming coin that you could check out, but then go down the rabbit hole, use this as one, like, okay, maybe build up a little list of coins that are very similar to Naka and the ecosystems and, kind of make your bets there. But yeah, Naka looking good. Naka looking pretty good. Pengu is up 2%. So everything right now, nothing's really moving. This is kind of the only movers I see in my particular list. Pengu up 2%, Naka up 11%. See Caspa, Sui up 1%, Tron up 1%. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. We got Monero up 0.5% recently. You can see from let's see from here, from April, the beginning of April, we really had a nice little crossover. I think of let's see, the 200-day moving average. Really nice. So actually, once we cross the 200-day moving average, we've actually been able to stay above it, which is really good. So if you're into Monero, that's another I think, coin that can be a pretty decent store of value over time. You can see on the weekly chart on Monero looks actually pretty strong. We're testing up to some, honestly, we're testing up to resistance from 2017, 18, and from 2021. So both areas of bull market territory, where potentially Monero could shoot up and do one of these. It can do one of these guys here. It can go like this and then break that resistance and go anywhere to, you know, $1,000. Very, very, you know, like small trend here. You can see that if you were to just go from the trend to wick and to go right here, I think a $900, $1,000 Monero could be easily attainable. And this is with the confidence of Bitcoin, whilst Bitcoin is going up and the kind of the dominance is switching up here. Let's see where the dominance is at right now. So we've done our best. If you guys haven't done this already, you should do this too. Put your large cap cryptos and just crypto list in one list category, and then put your dominance and your total market cap charts in a section. So we got total market cap, total 3 that excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then you have Bitcoin dominance and ETH dominance, and then your USD dominance, USDT. I can't even say it. And then also we have our stocks, which we like to follow: NVIDIA, MicroStrategy, or Strategy, Coin, the Russell, S&P 500, the SPY, ETF Trust. Then we have the NASDAQ futures. NASDAQ futures looks like it's wanting to get a recovery here. Nice little bottom out in the beginning of April. Getting a nice little V-shaped recovery here to try and test up back to the highs. Maybe test back up into and crush into $2,400 for the NASDAQ. Hopefully we get these the yield down on these on the US 10-year. Then also we have the Dixie. The Dixie should be trending down. Dixie, the dollar, hitting around 94 is our key area in this range where we think the risk on assets are going to start. It's going to start pumping. We're going to get more money into the markets. This is just one of those bull market checkpoints where we get a nice pump, we get a dump, people think it's over, and then we continue to the upside. And we still have a lot of metrics that are pointing to this being a extended bull market cycle. We have not even hit some of these time frames that match up with previous cycles. So if we're not even close to the time frame yet, where we should be, where we should be thinking about either accumulation or start thinking about taking profits, we're still in an accumulation zone. We're still in an accumulation zone, I think, in terms of, let's see. We could use Litecoin as a metric. We could use some of these altcoins as a metric. I think even just using ETH on the weekly and looking at where we've gone in previous bull market cycles. You can see 2016-17 is where we had that nice little tear up. Then we bottomed out in 2020. You can see that another little tear up here. And this has just been like this weird kind of swoop sideways action, all this garbage in here, not breaking any all-time highs. But look, you can see from the bottom here, we've hit, I think, the ETH bottom, and we should have another tear up like we saw in both cycles in these areas. It's just been this really just like garbage sideways like this. This is a little bit, at least you can determine like, okay, we're just in this bottom range. Okay, cool. And then we have a nice little tear up. But this is just, people have been very disappointed in this type of action because it's just, look, I mean, you get this bottom and you think, okay, right here would have been where we could have hit all-time high and broken through because it matches with the measurement of at least where we could have gone in certain time frames here, especially after the election. I mean, it seemed like ETH was ready to explode through its all-time high, and we kind of just hit. And this was even way before the election. This was the beginning of last year in March, and we used that as an example of how altcoins reacted, even just off of this move right here. Was they moved really well, and a lot of them hit their all-time highs. We had like Floki, SHIB, Pepe, those coins hit and broke all-time highs. We had coins like Brett breaking a $2 billion market cap whilst ETH was on that tear. You can see it was just yeah. So I think we still have some time. We still have a little ways to go. And if anything, I think hopefully Pepe will continue. I think do this Jesus take the wheel and see if we can actually pop up and break into those new all-time highs, or at least get back close to our all-time high of Pepe, which was right up at the top here. We had 402775. 402775 right up at the top. But yeah, we hope you guys are doing good, and you're thinking about how your portfolio's looking, what moves you're gonna make. Do you have a plan? I think it's interesting because last year we were saying, we got 6 months left. We got 6 months left, and we kind of still actually have 6 months left. Like it's just been like, yeah, you just give it another 6 months. Just give it another 6 months. So we hope that we don't keep just extending the 6 months out and extending it. Yeah, you got another 6 months. But the nature of this market is really interesting because a lot of money is going to be flowing into crypto and liquidity and the stable coins, the hot mention of stable coins. And so liquidity's coming. Liquidity's coming into these markets, but we have to know that only certain chains are going to be picked to be able to use on an institutional level for stable coins. So you have to think about who's going to be doing the most like Bitcoin DeFi and who is going to be minting the most stables. So we'll just have to see. Right now, the chain that's being picked for minting the most stables is Tron, Solana, Ethereum, got Arbitrum, we got Sui, we got Avalanche, Aptos. Anything that's over $1 billion in stables, I think is a good starting point to look and see of what and what chain it is. So for instance, you got Avalanche, 2 billion. And what's going on, everyone? Hope you're doing good. Thanks for everyone coming in. Andrew said, you're shilling Pepe again. I know, it's funny. When I was in Dubai, Andrew, shout out to Andy. He was like, you're really bullish Pepe, aren't you? Yeah, I couldn't help it. It's just because I was noticing any time I get around these Bitcoin events, I notice that the Bitcoiners, like they recognize Pepe. They always recognize Pepe. They can't ignore it. They can't deny it. And it just seems like that's the pick for major whales, whether they're Bitcoin maxis or not. But I just noticed that they have Pepe in their portfolio. Dogecoin whales. I've met Dogecoin whales out in the wild. Like, I was working a gig in town and I saw a guy walk in. He had a Doge shirt on, he had a Doge hat on, and I was like, oh, that guy's a Doge whale. So I talked to him. I was telling him, what I asked him what other coins he was into and what he has in his portfolio, and guess what it was? It was Pepe. He was like, yep. He was like, I got a bag of Pepe. So it just seems like the OG memers and people who were, into Bitcoin, at least got exposure into Bitcoin and started to play the meme game, is they're into Pepe. So, And if you guys did not see this, Trump's Truth Social, he's posted a lot, and actually this is a really crazy one. I thought I was kind of crazy for thinking this, because I was thinking the same thing. The more that I started to see Biden, I was like, that's not the real Biden. I was like, this is some other like bizarro version of Biden that they chucked out there. And lo and behold, Trump posts a video about hinting that Biden was a clone. So I guess I'm not that crazy. As if the president is actually signaling and trying to tell us, like, hey, that dude might not be actually the real Biden, that's pretty freaking crazy. That's pretty crazy. Makes sense, too, because we literally barely saw him. I mean, we maybe saw the guy, like, truly, like, 4 times through his presidency. So I don't know what the heck is going on. But, man, he's posted a lot. Did he take down the... Where is that post? I want to show you guys the Trump Pepe post. There it is. All right, so this was just 3 days ago. You can see, posted this meme. He's on a mission from God, and nothing can stop what is coming. And then there's a cute little Pepe standing there in the background for no apparent reason, but besides for the president is literally telling you. I mean, I don't know. I just see this as I'm a crypto moon boy idiot, and when I look at this, the president and Elon Musk is telling us, hey, aren't you paying attention? You probably could actually start paying attention. And it's crazy because when the president signaled for us to, hey, this is a good time to buy, a lot of us didn't want to pay attention because we didn't want to get rugged. But when the president of the United States says, hey, it's a good time to buy, and then on that point, everything literally pumped, we might need to just start listening to the blatant, obvious things right in front of our faces. So this is why we are bullish. I mean, we were already bullish, Pepe. We didn't need the president. We didn't need a cabal. We didn't need but Pepe's smiling. I think if Pepe was frowning, like if we had a frowning Pepe, there's just why would Pepe be in this picture? I mean, it really I just think about it, I'm like, wow. It's really cool. But then we've had, like we talked about, Elon. Elon has been posting the Pepe character for his character of choice for the past year. And so we've actually had spikes of Pepe interest over Doge and spiking up close to Bitcoin in terms of search interest this year in May. And then over the past 12 months, we've actually seen Pepe in interest in search it, and this is web search worldwide. This isn't just United States. This is worldwide, 12 months web search, and we get spikes like this. But you can see the Doge spike. The Doge spike happened right here because of the nature of Elon helping Trump basically get elected and be a part of, and then saying that they're going to be a part of the administration, setting up Doge. So then we got a nice Doge spike. But you could see here now that, and then in June, we had a spike. I just find it fascinating that something like Pepe can overtake trend search on levels throughout the year. Now, past 5 years, different story. We can see where we had those major spikes on Dogecoin in the last cycle. And then you can see where we had a little bit of spikeage here. But in terms of social risk and retail sentiment and people coming back into the markets, we're not even close. All this money and all this price action, these price movements are all driven by institutional money. So I think by the time we get to 150K Bitcoin or a 200K Bitcoin, we will be, I think retail will then start to think, oh, it looks good here. That's when retail starts to think, oh yeah, it looks good here. And then they buy it, and it's essentially, quote, the top. It'll be like a local top of 200K. And then it kind of goes up a little bit because of the fact of the retail coming in to maybe buy some spot, whatever it may be. But I don't know if it's going to be Bitcoin. That's the thing. I think, it's just a guess, that what happened last time when retail came in, they didn't really buy Bitcoin. They weren't like, let me buy some Bitcoin. They went in and they say, what is cheaper? They maybe bought a little bit of ETH. ETH saw some buying pressure because of the fact that it looked cheaper than Bitcoin. Visually, anything that looks cheaper, smaller, you can get more of. Retail's mindset is, I'm going to get that. They go, Dogecoin's cheaper. I can get 10,000 Doge or have 10,000 tokens or whatever it may be. That is the conversation in the retail head, and it was the same one that you had in your head when you came into the game. You didn't think, let me buy some Bitcoin. You were like, what is this? What's the next thing down the line? We all just go down the line and see what is the cheaper thing. What can we get more of for less? So if you have $100, you buy Bitcoin for $100, you're going to get 0.00001 Bitcoin. But for $100 and you want to get some Dogecoin, you're going to get like 250, 300, 400 tokens of Doge for that $100. Because I guess, Doge right now it's sitting at, what is it sitting at? 20 cents? Yeah, 20 cents. I mean, you probably could get a lot of tokens for $100. So that's how retail's going to think. But then think about Pepe. It's going to be that, I think the retail mindset's coming in for Pepe like that. They're going to say, oh, all right, I can get a lot more Pepe tokens for $100. And I think that's why I've just built this blueprint, this sketch of what I think is happening with Pepe here, with how Robinhood has just played along, the exchanges are playing along, the bubble maps look good, and everything is lining up. So that's why I'm bullish on Pepe. It just seems like this is going to be the pick. It's just going to be the pick. And I want to be along for the ride. I don't want to be not holding any Pepe. But all right, let's go and end this stream. We just wanted to pop in for a Pepe Sunday live stream service. Hope you enjoyed it. We just wanted to show you a little bit of the charts, show you what's performing well today, and yeah, we just hope you guys are doing good. Shout out to Dreams Tank TV, bullish on Doge. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Emmanuel. Shout out to Andrew P. Shout out to Crypto G and Mr. Crypto and Cabrera. Thank you guys for coming in today and hitting the like button. And make sure you guys check out, all the links in the description. It is the best way that you can directly support the channel. We don't have a private group or like a Patreon or anything like that. So the best way that you can directly support this channel and keep the lights on is to use our links in the description. And we don't have very many links. We just have 2 exchange links that we promote. We don't promote 7 different exchanges. We like to keep it focused. I think the best way that I can get people to use a platform is to just have 2 of them that I personally think are the best in terms of features, functionality, network functionality, the available cryptos and networks that you can trade and transfer. So out of that list, and I've used a bunch. I've used them all pretty much. And the ones that I notice have the best support and they just work and have good features, OURBIT and PHEMEX. Simple. And then if you want to get the bigger exchanges, you want like Coinbase or crypto.com, we got links for that too. So you can earn some Bitcoin, and these have, debit cards and all that stuff. But yeah, It's just the easiest, best way that you can support the channel is just check out those links, trade on those links. And also, if you have some friends or family members that have not signed up for crypto yet and they want to know kind of where to go, you can direct them to these particular links. But all right, God bless every single one of you. Happy Sunday again, and we will see you guys tomorrow, starting the week strong with our 11 a.m. live streams that we do Monday through Friday. Just remember, tune into those. Ding the bell. You have to click the bell and all, so then you can get notified and you can come in, hang out with the dojo crew, and just remember, no crying in the casino right now. Speaking of crying in the casino, James Wynn, no trades open, and no perps got liquidated, but I think he's probably going to step back in. But we'll see. We've been following it. We'll see what happens. But thank you guys again for coming in today. Have a good rest of the day. Peace out.